Welcome to the Soul Archaeology podcast, a space for connection, resonance, witnessing, and learning. Together we'll harvest medicine from the spiral of life, sharing conversations with other embodied humans who have navigated their own initiations and found alignment with their true soul essence. With weekly astrology, energy updates, embodied conversation, and channeled teachings, this is a space for you to land and find resonance with the spiral of your own soul. Hello, welcome back to Soul Archaeology. I am getting over a cold. I am back in Los Angeles, settling back home after traveling for the holidays and orienting, as many of us are. And I just keep getting this, when I tune into the energy of now, I just keep getting this sense of titration and subtle frequency adjustments and attunements that our system is calling in and integrating as we move through this major threshold that we are sort of right at. I know I talk a lot about thresholds, but we have so many micro and macro thresholds merging right now. And the new chapter we're entering into is certainly of a higher frequency. I think that there's multiple pathways we can take to enter it. There are multiple doors we can move through to enter this next chapter. And, there's a massive shift in consciousness occurring. And we can either choose the higher frequency or the lower frequency of that shift. And so as we stretch and cross into this new age, this new time, of course, time is not linear, so it's not just this one big movement. It's many micro movements that help us to sort of materialize into the next chapter rather than opening the door and entering into it. So I believe that all of these different experiences we've had, like last summer when we had this foreshadowing and first taste of this new age, new timeline, then going back into retrograde mode. And now as we start to emerge, planets are stationing direct. We have this Capricorn stellium that's giving us some structure and form to life, to the fabric of life. All of these different micro adjustments are really helping us form new ways, new pathways, new systems, new patterns within our psyche, within our subconscious, within our nervous systems, so that we can materialize into this new chapter feeling different at this higher frequency. And where we are right now, we're at this point within the year, this nearing the end of the astrological year, nearing the end of this Chinese zodiac year, the beginning of the calendar year. There's this like back and forth push and pull. I personally am feeling so much of this titration. I'm feeling the new emerging. I'm kind of leaning into it and touching and feeling and sensing into it. And I'm also kind of getting pulled back into this contraction, this restoration, this womb of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I do suggest that if you haven't listened to last episode or the episode before, I encourage you to go back. I really go deep into the energy of Capricorn season and the medicine of this cardinal month, this threshold month, and how we can work with the energy of Capricorn in the womb of winter. And we're in this strong Capricorn energy. Last week, we had the stellium in Capricorn. We had a Venus and Mars cazimi in Capricorn. There was this activation of the masculine and feminine energies. And this is the last week, officially, last full week of Capricorn season. So we get to really work with this material. We get to deepen into the medicine of this time This is the last week of this lunar cycle. On the 18th of January, we have a new moon in Capricorn. So this is the last lunar cycle having Neptune and Saturn in Aries. I feel that this is the last lunar cycle of an old timeline in many ways. I think that we are turning a page in 2026, although it's, not fully emerging until 2027, 2028. We're turning the page. We're integrating the new energy. We're welcoming it in. And I do really feel that there's this imprint that this Capricorn lunar cycle carries of the old world. And I've talked to so many people who are purging in a real big way right now. Many people who are shedding and moving through so much and really getting this big wave of purge coming in. So even though we are in a new calendar year, we are still very much in this Neptunian fog and haze, and we're going to start seeing and feeling and sensing the emergence of a new timeline over the coming month. So this week, we have on January 14th, Mercury in Capricorn opposing Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. On the 17th, we have Venus entering Aquarius. So the stellium finally breaks up. Venus enters Aquarius. And then on January 18th, we have a new moon in Capricorn. And I wasn't sure. I mean, technically, I would include the new moon in the next episode, but I release on Monday mornings. This new moon in Capricorn is on Monday at just around noon Pacific. So I really felt that I wanted to include it in this week's content and material, especially because we'll be working with it throughout this week, especially because we have this Capricorn energy that's completing this week. And I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity here to be in this energy, to be reflecting, to be using it to help orient within this space and time. And this is also the ending of an eclipse portal. So I know I cannot believe it either. We are entering into eclipse season next week with the new moon in Capricorn on the 18th. So our first eclipse is on February 17th in Aquarius, a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. And by that point, we'll already be deep in the conjunction between Saturn and Neptune as well. So it feels like this new moon is a point of orientation, a point where we get to collect and retrieve and be with what's here, what's in front of us, what's clear before the speed accelerates. This week has a feeling of compression and significance. We're at the end of this lunar cycle, of course, but also at the end of something larger, a preparatory chapter before eclipse season opens and before Saturn and Neptune begin their historic shift into Aries together. So there's this sense of standing at the edge of something, a long road, gathering what's important, what matters, and choosing what will come with us, where we'll place it. So on January 14th, we have Mercury in Capricorn opposite Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. And Mercury in Capricorn is practical. It's realistic. It's sober. It wants clarity, coherence, plans that make sense, sense making. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer really expands emotional memory, belonging, the need for safety, mothering, connection, intimacy. Opposite one another, there's a tension here around fact and feeling, around logic and feeling, emotion and discernment. I see this as a point of orientation to really note and understand where our thoughts are coming from, where our actions are coming from. Are we moving from a feeling or an emotion, or are we moving from logic and truth? Are we too far in logic and truth without giving the emotional space that we need to the experiences we're having? Or are we way in our emotions, way in our sort of cocoon or our contraction, and need to come out and emerge a little bit to really sort through some things, to face reality, to confront some of these pieces that this Capricorn stellium has been bringing to light? So this is a recalibration of the mind. All of these transits are helping us sort through and recalibrate to this new frequency, to prepare for this journey, this crossing, to really note what's within our toolbox, where we're operating from. Is it the past or present? Are we clinging to old stories and narratives? Are we overthinking or overplanning or gripping too hard? Or are we not planning at all? Are we too amorphous or too deep in our emotional landscape to start making, intending what we need? On January 17th, Venus enters Aquarius. So there is some shared ground between Capricorn and Aquarius. They can both be quite independent and autonomous and individuated, maybe even emotionally detached. But there is this strong commitment and devotion woven into the energy of Venus and Capricorn. She is devoted there. She's very serious and responsible. There's consequence and weight to her presence in Capricorn. When she enters Aquarius, there's this lightness. Values shift to honesty, authenticity, space to breathe, freedom, liberation, truth. And this shift is significant, not only because she's leaving this Cazimi and stellium with Mars and the Sun, but she's also moving towards Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius. So we're going to start building towards quite a few conjunctions with Pluto over the next few weeks. As we move into Aquarius season next week, as we move towards, as all of these planets, Mercury, Mars, the Sun, begin to move into Aquarius over the next few weeks, they're all meeting Pluto, the Lord of the Underworld. Not only that, but we're also entering eclipse season within the Aquarius Leo axis. Our first eclipse is in Aquarius, a solar eclipse on February 17th. So we're entering the space of the subconscious, of the underworld. Everything is deepening as we move through the next few weeks. And her entry on January 17th really starts to pave the way for this Aquarian journey we will be on over the next month and a half. Systems, communities, relationships, friendships, values connected to freedom and truth and authenticity, all of that will be up. We've been in this liminal space, this foggy, murky energy of Neptune and Pisces and Saturn and Pisces. We've been in retrograde season. So we are emerging slowly but surely into this confrontation with Pluto. It's like as we emerge from the underworld, we have this checkpoint with Pluto, asking, what kind of work have we done over the last year as Pluto's been in its first stages, its first ingress degrees of Aquarius? Where is Aquarius in your chart? This is going to be lit up over the next month and a half. You've already been feeling it, obviously. Pluto moved into Aquarius officially for a 20-year transit in November of 2020. Is that 2023? No, 2024, sorry. I had to think about that for a moment. I cannot believe how quickly the years are moving. So the end of 2024, Pluto stationed in Aquarius for 20 years. So Venus will pave the way for this journey through Aquarian themes over the next month and a half. On January 18th, which is next Monday, like I said, we're having a new moon in Capricorn, and I'm including it in this episode because I feel like we'll be working with that energy through the end of this week, early next week, and I'd like to just give you the information now so you can begin working with it and orienting towards this new moon energy. We also have Mars and Mercury and the Sun already at this late degree of Capricorn point. So we're already in this energy. The moon coming to this place really just activates a new ending and beginning point for the lunar cycle here. It brings our emotional intelligence into this space. We've been working with a lot of mental energy, a lot of desire, primal energy. This is emotional energy. This is our inner landscape, our innermost self that gets illuminated at this 28-degree Capricorn point. So the new moon in Capricorn is on January 18th at 28 degrees of Capricorn. It is at 11:52 a.m. Pacific. And new moons are, of course, endings and beginnings. They're the beginning of a new lunar cycle, but that's where we have, of course, endings meeting beginnings. It's where we have a checkpoint, looking back at the last lunar cycle and ahead at the next. And this new moon in Capricorn is quiet and sober and really deeply consequential. This new moon is ruled by Saturn, and we have Saturn at the last degrees of Pisces. It's completing something. Saturn's completing. This new moon is completing. We have just so much sobering endings. This new moon is also at 20 degrees. So it's nearing completion. Capricorn season is nearing completion. This is wisdom earned, standing at the edge of something you've already been preparing for, whether consciously or not. This isn't about creating all new ways and systems and excavating and deepening. This is about pausing and reflecting and trusting that what you've been building has been for something that we might not be able to sense or feel or touch quite yet. But as Capricorn does, brick by brick, you've been building a new foundation, slow and steady, one foot in front of the other. This time is about chop wood, carry water. It's not about overhauling life and rushing to begin new ways of interacting with life. And having a Saturn-ruled new moon, especially at the late degrees of Capricorn, asks us to reckon with the long arc of our choices. Not just what we want next or what we desire, which has been this Mars and Capricorn energy, but what we've been building towards slowly, invisibly, what we've been planning for, and the bricks we've been laying when no one's watching. The small, tiny acts and choices that we make that build and weave the fabric of our lives. And we've already been auditing this space. Like I said, we've had Venus and Mars and the Sun all traversing the late degrees of Capricorn. And we've been taking inventory. That's what Saturn does. That's what Capricorn does. It's asking for us to mature, asking for us to take more responsibility, to own the choices that we make, to audit where we make those choices from, and to really get down into the operating system. Where are we operating from? We have Mercury, the mind, the will, desire, Mars, the heart, the emotional landscape, all aligned in Capricorn. This new moon is conjunct Mercury, Mars, Venus, and technically Pluto at 30 degrees of Aquarius. It's a pretty wide orb, but we're still working with it. So many aspects of our intimate, personal lives are being activated. This is a sobering moon. This is an orienting moon. It's giving us an opportunity to glimpse into our operating systems, to notice where we're making our decisions from, what we're choosing, our values, our mind. It's a reorientation towards what we're choosing each and every day and aligning those choices with the higher timeline you're calling in. All of these planets gathering together with this new moon create a moment of embodied agreement between what we think, what we do, what we love, what we choose. This is a consolidation, a reorientation. And then we have a supportive sextile to Saturn and Neptune at the last degrees of Pisces, getting ready to cross into Aries over the next month. And this piece of this new moon is crucial. Saturn offers this containment, patience, discernment. Neptune is offering surrender, intuition, devotion to something beyond control. Dissolving, trust, faith. This is a realignment towards serving soul. That your discipline must serve soul. Our structures must remain permeable, fluid, open. It's finding the balance between rigidity and softness, between discernment and emotion. This is creating aligned action in devotion to our soul blueprint, spiritually up-leveling our actions and our choices, and coming into coherence with our hearts. I feel like this Capricorn stellium, this new moon in Capricorn, all of this has just been this checkpoint, this point of reorientation and recalibration of our values, our desires. Are we in true alignment with the new timeline we're calling in? Where are we operating from? What are we carrying with us into this new timeline? And Capricorn energy can be so supportive in that way. It really gives us space to audit and to choose differently. This new moon is also trine Uranus at the last degrees of Taurus. So there's this preparatory energy here. There's completion energy. There's preparation energy. It's having us really look at the choices we've made since 2018, since 2011, even over the last few years. What choices have we made? What choices have led us to this point? What are we ready to outgrow? What are we ready to step into? And like I said, this is the last new moon before eclipse season. This new moon officially opens the eclipse window. We have an eclipse on February 17th. This new moon on January 18th opens the door, leading us into this next eclipse. So this new moon is a grounding anchor. It's a checkpoint. It's a space where we get to really click in. We get to note and study and observe where we're operating from. Deepening into self-trust, knowing we don't need to know everything that's coming in order to feel prepared. Trusting that the work we've done has already prepared us for this time. We don't need to rush towards the next chapter. We only need to know what we're willing to tend with consistency and care, choosing what is in right relationship with this new timeline. And when I say choosing, it's down to the tiny, small details, what we're choosing to eat, what we're choosing to consume, what we're choosing to believe and take in. This is a new moon of quiet vows, of devotion, of tending the sacred flame when no one is watching. The card that I pulled from the Untamed Elemental deck for the Soul Archaeology community is the Breath card. And it's all about inspiration. It says breath is the vibratory note between the starting point of life and the still point of death. All activity derives from her flow. Your mother's breath is the first gift she gave you. It was passed down from her mother, and upon both of their respirations, you alighted upon the world. The strength of your connection with your own breath is the extent to which you are connected to your existence, creativity, and power. Breath is prayer and praise. She is all inspiring. Breath is a sign that inspiration is afoot. The words breath and inspiration are deeply entwined. They are integral to one another. To become inspired is to have an idea breathed into you as an exclamation from the divine. The inspiration you receive is a vision of reality that already exists, and it is yours to create if you so choose. Breathe into your inspiration and discover if it is right for you to embark upon at this time. When it's balanced, you feel receptive to divinely sourced potentials. When it's imbalanced, you feel a lack of new ideas. To bring into balance, practice purification through the control of your breath. And I feel like this card is so appropriate right now because breath is truly the building blocks of life. And just like a drum, it is consistent and steady, like Capricorn. The energy really begins to accelerate after this new moon. Neptune shifts into Aries on January 26th, and things just start picking up from there. So let this week be a place of reprieve, of sanctuary, of orientation, where you can gather all of what you've been working on, your thoughts, your prayers, as we cross the threshold together. I will be here. I am also announcing my group cohort in the next few weeks. If you are on the wait list, you get first choice of spots. You also get a discount on the cohort, the container. This is a year-long group mentorship. And I created it this year because I knew that we would be working with some unprecedented energy, and to be in community during a time like this is profound. So if you're interested in joining my cohort, you can sign up for the wait list. You'll get first dibs on spots. There are limited spots for this because I'd like for it to be a more intimate group, 20 people or less. So I can't wait to see how this group begins to form. I also have my 2026 astrology workshop still available, and that is a great companion through this unprecedented year. It gives all of the main transits, the main themes, how to work with the energy. There's a really powerful quantum healing journey included as well, and also a workbook. So the workbook's great because it aligns with each month, the energy of each month, how you can work with it, the major transits and ingresses, journal prompts. It's really a great companion for the year ahead. And you have lifetime access to this. I have many people who say that they've done this workshop many, many years and continue to repeat the quantum journey throughout the year. And it really helps them stay in alignment with the frequencies and energies of the year. So that's available as well. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. If you would like to support Soul Archaeology, you can sign up for my Substack. It's $8 a month. It's a great way to support the production of this podcast. I don't have sponsors and I do it out of my own pocket. I love it. And if you've been wanting to give back or donate or support the production, you can do so by signing up for my Substack. I have it linked in the show notes. You can also donate to Soul Archaeology if that's something you're interested in as well. I have that linked in the show notes too. It's just through my website, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here, supporting by sharing the podcast on social media. Sharing with friends means so much to me as well. And I'll see you next week.